Hey guys, it's Heidi Stevens, business coach for creative entrepreneurs and coaches. And I am so excited to be here with you. We just have a couple more days before New Year's Eve, before the end of the year. And this is such an interesting time between Christmas and New Year's. I don't know if you feel that way, but it's, it just tends to, it's like slow, which I love. I tend to run at a very, very high pace, and this week it's just like slowing everybody down. I know if you have kids, then there's a good chance that you may be on vacation if your schedule runs around the school holiday. But what I love most about this time is that it's really a time for us to dive deep into our own reflections and really look at the past year. I just want to say hi, Dawn. Hello, Happy New Year. Shayna, hi, I'm so happy you're on. If you're on, you guys, give a little heart, give a little wave, say hello, so that I know that you are here. And Stephanie, have we shared this into the group? Let's make sure that we get that into the Elevate group for all the lovely ladies there that are not on my business page yet. I'll just make sure. Yeah, Stephanie's giving me a heart. So, you guys, okay, this is, okay. So what do I want to say? I'm going to be sharing with you guys, a couple of things today. I'm going to be sharing with you first, really how to get clear on what you do not want to carry into the new year. That's actually like a really exciting process. So don't feel like we're going to like dive deep into the, you don't have to go super far deep into your shadow self, but I'm super excited about really looking at what in the ways are that we have grown and that you don't want to carry these patterns into 2018. Then I'm going to be sharing with you how to really look at your year in review and strategize. And this is something that I've done for 6 to 7 years. I absolutely love it. So let's get going. Okay. So first things first, looking at the ways in which, we have grown, the ways in which you have grown over the past year, and the ways in which you may have acted or may have done things that it's not that you're judging them or not proud of them, but that you are just really, really, really clear on the fact that you do not want to continue repeating those in the new year. And the best way that I know how to kind of allow these to come forward is to do a little inventory. And to do that, my suggestion for you is look at the ways in which you may feel some disappointment around 2017. What are the ways that you're either judging yourself as, not have completed X, Y, and Z, or didn't accomplish this, or are just feeling some judgment. And the reason why, hi Bonnie, Happy New Year to you too. I know Kenny had so much fun with you last night. I was watching the video this morning, so that was fun. Sorry guys, I'm getting distracted by the comments. But so this process to do some inventory for this past year is vital, because here's the deal, is that the ways in which that we are currently judging ourselves or holding ourselves back or having these limiting beliefs about the past year, they're inside of us, they're being held inside of our bodies, whether you want to consciously recognize it or not. And so my invitation to you is to actually allow yourself to bring those to the surface and to get clear on what they are, so that you can transform them and let them go and not have to repeat the lesson. The way that we the way that spirit works with us is that we continue getting the same lessons over and over and over until they're healed. So I love this time of year because it really is such a beautiful time to reflect and look at what are those ways and what are those patterns and what are those lessons that I'm so clear on. I'm getting the lesson. I'm not going to repeat this, and I'm sure as hell not going to bring this into the new year. So I want you to write down, and you can just make a little note of this and do this after the Facebook Live, do it this weekend, do it before New Year's Eve. I want you to write down, what are the ways that you are judging yourself as, as just like not having accomplished in 2018? What are the ways that you are, whether it's a regret? I'll share with you, I'm happy to share with you a few of mine. I came out this year, I started my coaching business. For those of you that know my story, I have I've had a lot of success in my past in the real estate business, and I have really, really, really big goals. And I had a really big money goal for myself this year. And I only accomplished about half of my money goal. And as much as I knew that it was a stretch, and as much as I knew that it would take like a lot, I really felt inside of myself that it was attainable. And I've been doing work over this over the last couple of weeks of really, with my own mentor, and of really looking at, what was that about for me? Like, what about this year, specifically around this money goal? Why did it happen like this? What did I achieve? And, how can I transform my perspective on what I did actually accomplish? So before we jump to that, I want you to write down the ways in which you may be regretting something that you did. And when I did this exercise, I had about 8 to 10 of them. For you, it may be different. But really just sit with yourself and check in and write them down. Okay? Got it? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if yes, you got that part. So then after you have the judgments, the regrets, et cetera, written down, I want you to go and look at them and go, if this happened, if this particular situation, if this scenario, if this upset of mine, whether it's a breakup, we actually lost a nanny this year, or a nanny switched about halfway through the year, and halfway through the year I thought I was I was so distressed over it. I now see the lesson, and I now see why it all happened. But if the situation that you have some remorse or guilt or shame or whatever, judgment, limiting belief around, if that happened, 100% for your highest good and learning. And I want you to really hear me on this, because every single one of us, and I'm telling you this because I'm telling myself this at the same time, every single one of us is always, always, always having the exact experience that we are meant to have at any given time. And I know that when we are in it, when we're in a situation, or we are in the spin, or when we're having a challenging moment, whether it's in our business or our personal lives, it can feel so challenging, and it can feel why me? Why is this happening? And what I know to be true is that spirit, source, universe, energy, whatever God, whatever you want to call that higher power that looks over every single one of us, is that source, that energy is constantly co-conspiring on behalf of your and my greater good. And so if you believe that, and if you are willing to take on that perspective, it allows me to know that whatever did happen, whatever those sentences are, whatever those regrets are, whatever those judgments or limiting beliefs are that you have written down, that they really are there to teach you a lesson. They really are there to help your soul, your persona, your human self evolve and experience more of what you do ideally want. Typically when something doesn't go our way, typically when we have an upset, or I'm upset because, or regret, it is because the universe is literally trying to get our attention. It is because we is trying to stop us in our tracks and say, hold up here for a moment. I need you to look at X, Y, and Z. And most of us learn better from the pain than from, the good. When everything's rolling and everything's great and everything's just happening, we don't always stop as much. We don't always check in. And so for whatever that thing is for you, that, you may be feeling some judgment around, some regret, take a look, listen, ask Ask why it happened. Ask what the lesson is, and really, really, really get the lesson. Because it is in the lesson that there's freedom. That there's like when we look at the shadow, it allows, the shadow is the judgment or the regret. And when we really look at that, it allows us to see the light. It allows us to see like, oh, right. Like that's why it didn't happen. And so what I'm going to offer for you is let's all go away from this recording and go do our inventories, if you will. Go do our, go take a look at all of these. And then I'm committed to you to coming back and sharing my top learnings and my top lessons from 2017, because so many of us, we are on this path and we're on this journey together. And so I haven't done this yet. I haven't done this process. I've done it around a couple areas of what's happened in 2017, but not all. And I am planning on sitting down in the next day or two and really diving into this with my own journal. So I will be sharing those with you. And then I want to share with you a slightly lighter process that, and this is the one that I've done for years. I've done it when I was single. I've done it with Kenny while I'm married. Since we've been together, I've done it since I've been married, single. So there's no right or wrong ways to do this, and it's just a lot of fun. And the process is the year in review. And the way that I love to do this is to really look back and chunk and look at a month at a time. And so, you'll write in your journal, and you can write it down, or if you have a partner and you want to talk about it. Kenny and I often do this on New Year's Eve. It's actually a tradition that we just stay in on New Year's Eve, and we just love, we go through the year and we talk about each month and all of the things that happened every single month. And you may be thinking like, how am I going to remember way back to January? And I promise you, like once you just start kind of getting into it, you may remember specific trips or, a specific hire that you made or, a relationship, and just really writing down like, these are all the things that happened this month. And these are the things that I'm celebrating about that experience. And then you can also use that as a way to start looking at some of the lessons that you've had. I can't believe that last January, you guys, I didn't even have a website up. Like it actually wasn't even I didn't even really realize in January that I was going to be coaching. Can you believe this? So I coached 4 years ago, and when I got the download last November, December, that I was meant to get more into the women's empowerment space again, and then I was really meant to step forward in this way, the only download that came forward was that it was time for me to gather women, and that it was time for me to get women together, and I didn't really know what that means, and I ended up putting together this event in February. Some of you that are watching right now, I know were there, and it really wasn't until after that event that I got the download. Really wasn't until March, very end of February, March, that I actually started working with women one-on-one, and then, further along in different ways. But for me to think holy shit, in January, I didn't actually even have my website done. For me, it really allows, and I'm sharing this with you because I want my own experience to be of service to you guys and putting things in perspective. For me to think wow, that's where I was in January, and now look what I've created. I've worked with over 65 women this year, XYZ in terms of the groups I've created and the programs and my own following and whatnot, right? So it's yeah, maybe the money wasn't quite where I wanted it to be at the end of this year, but look at the foundation that I've laid. And look what I have been able to do for my first year back, quote unquote, back in business. And, so much happens in our lives every single year. And we all are busy, and we're moving a mile a minute, and we've got so much going on that it's so easy to overlook the small wins. You know, for some of us, and for some of you, you may look at your business and go, all right, great. Like I started, you know, my Instagram feed, or I did that photo shoot that I've always wanted to do, or I got X amount of clients this year, whatever the big wins are. Or maybe you took a trip this year that you've always wanted to take, whatever it is for you. One of my biggest wins for this year was getting my son into the preschool that I so desired. I like manifested it. And it's like that one just like sticks out. He's like, he's going to that preschool. I'm so happy. But it's like the, you know, the real wins are in the small, are so much like in the small things. And the things that we're moving so fast that we don't always see. So I remember being down in San Diego literally like 7 or 8 years ago and just taking the time to go through, this is the first time that I ever did this, and just go through every single month in my journal, writing it down. And I've written it down for a few years, and then like I said, now Kenny and I kind of chat about it over a glass of champagne on New Year's Eve, and we laugh together, and it's fun to remember the ups and the downs, and then to also look like, oh yeah, that was a real struggle. Like that month really sucked. You know, that month we felt like whatever it was a challenge, and what can we learn from that? So you guys, there's so much more that I can share about this time, and also just like going into the new year. And how to set yourself up. And I am somebody that likes to be like 10 steps ahead. And so me sharing this with you guys today is also just an important reminder for me to slow it down, to really use the energy of this week between Christmas and New Year's, the slowness of it, the quietness of it. At least it's quiet here in Los Angeles and in my house. To really go inward and to reflect. And there is plenty of time. I promise you, there is so much time to get really clear and strategic about what to do, what you want to create in 2018. I know that everyone, you know, in this group is like full on like go-getters, like everyone in my Elevate group and all of you that have entrepreneurial spirit, you've already probably been thinking about all of your goals and strategies for 2018. And so while that is awesome, and I totally applaud you, and in ways I am right there with you, I also really encourage you to use this time to reflect 2017. So with that, if you are in Los Angeles, talking about going into 2017, there are still spots available in my workshop for 2018, which is January 7th. It's on a Sunday. And so I would love to have you there. It's about getting really clear on what 2018 is about for you, the money that you want to manifest, the things that you want to accomplish, and then really chunking it down to taking very clear action steps. We've got some great guest speakers and lunch and rosé and all the yummy stuff. So if you are available that day, would love to have you there. And you guys, I've got some really more fun. I do have some fun things coming up in terms of group programs, and I'll be sharing about those in the next couple of weeks. Actually, I'll be sharing about one of them today, so be on the lookout for that. But this is not about that. This is about you, and this is about you getting clear on what you are up to. Not what you're up to, but what you accomplished, and really taking those lessons so that 2018 does not need to be another year that you need to go and learn that same lesson or repeat it. So hope this was helpful. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. And I do promise to be back in the next 48 hours before New Year's Day. It may even be on New Year's Eve. We will see. I promise to come back with and share with you my own inventory and my own lessons that I have taken from 2017. Lots of love and take care. Bye-bye.